Arlene Herson, and we're back at this wonderful benefit for the Metropolitan Opera, and we're joined now by Placido Domingo. Perhaps the greatest tenor of all time, a superstar in the opera, but I hear also a superstar as a person. And thank you for taking time from the party to join us.
My pleasure. First of all, you say it very well, Placido, yes?
Yes, well...
people somehow they have problems with the accent, you know. They say Placido. You know, they don't realize the accent is with the A, Placido. That's the right way to say it. That's wonderful.
Okay, so we'll tell everybody it's Placido Domingo.
Placido.
Actually, tonight's a special night for you. Special night for me because you're here. But I hear that you are celebrating 19 years with the Metropolitan Opera. 19
years ago, I was just coming back from my rehearsal from the Metropolitan when I have a phone call from Mr. Bing then and said, Placido, said you have to make your debut tonight because somebody else is sick. So I went back to the theater, and that was my debut exactly 19 years ago. A little bit ahead of schedule. I was going to make it 4 days later, so I actually have 2 debuts.
Okay, well, were you nervous? I mean, you weren't prepared?
I don't have the chance to be nervous, you know. I rushed to the theater. Actually, it was the best thing that could happen. It was better than if I would wait for my real debut, you know, because things happen so unexpected, I don't even have the time to get nervous.
Do you know something? When you say you don't have the time, you have the busiest schedule of anybody that I know. Your wife, Marta, who is not here, as a matter of fact, in an article, had mentioned that you're the kind of person you can sing a full opera, you can go out to dinner, you can get home at 5 o'clock in the morning and think nothing about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning being rehearsal the next day. She said you have the constitution of a horse.
Yes. Well, the thing is this, that's right, I work very much, but also you have to be fair. I mean, people only talk about the time you work, they never talk about the time you rest. That's not interesting, of course, you know. I mean, if I spend 2 weeks resting or 3 weeks resting or 1 week or whatever is the time, nobody will publish that. I know how to take care of myself, I know how to rest, but I am a very hard worker and I love to work, yes.
There was one time that you even did an opening night, 2 opening nights, one on the East Coast in New York at the Metropolitan Opera, and then in San Francisco at the Opera.
Yes.
Flew back and forth the same day.
Somebody else canceled, but it was not the same day. You cannot open both houses in the same day, you know?
Okay.
But with difference of days, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that obviously you do find, how do you relax? I mean, how does Placido finally say, okay, I'm going to put my feet up so that I can keep the schedule?
Well, I do relax very much. I'm a great lover of sports. I follow sports very much, so I go to see sports, so I go to follow them on television, and I like to enjoy free time with my children and my wife, my parents, with friends. I have a very intense life, but I certainly know how to rest, yes.
Okay. Your life has been music. Your wife is formerly an opera singer. Actually, she gave up her career to help you and to manage your career, but your parents were both opera. They're not opera singers. Zarzuela?
Yes,
did I say that right?
Zarzuela singers, yes, they used to sing, and of course I learned from them, you know, most of the things I know, and I'm very proud sometimes to give some concerts with the Spanish music, which is the music my parents used to sing, you know.
Your parents originally, I read, discouraged you from going on the stage. They thought it was a very difficult life, and you were trained to be a pianist.
That's right, a pianist, and they want me to be a pianist, but it never hurt me. I mean, I learned to play the piano, I learned to conduct, and I am using everything in my career, you know.
Okay, but how did it happen? I mean, you were going to play the piano. How did you make the transition? I mean, thank heavens you did, but when did...
You know, you cannot stop something that you want to do. I want to do it, so all of a sudden, when they don't realize, I sneak into the stage and I was singing there.
I read that your father heard you sing on the stage for the first time.
Yes.
And his mouth opened. He couldn't believe that was his son.
That's right, yes. It was a peculiar moment of that work. Then it was very popular, you know, like a chorus, the whole chorus, and always a soloist sings. So I was in the chorus, and my father never expected that I was going to walk, you know, to the front and sing the soloist. So I did that, and that was quite a surprise for him.
Okay, well, thank heavens you did it. At one point, I heard too that you almost became a professional soccer player. You mentioned earlier you like sports.
Right.
True?
I love football, soccer. That's my sport, and I enjoyed very much playing. I enjoyed very much watching. And of course, perhaps if I wouldn't like so much music, perhaps I will be, a goalkeeper or forward playing football.
Well, I'm sure glad that you didn't. I think the whole world is glad.
I'm very
that
glad
you
I didn't.
Yeah,
I think
you're very glad.
I'm convinced that I am a better singer than football player.
No doubt about it. You have 3 sons. I mean, you've come from such a musical family. Your wife also. Your parents. What about any of your sons going into the profession?
Well, the 3, they like it very much what I do. They like very much music. But the one in the middle, Placido, he's a great composer. He was studying at the Hochschule in Vienna, and now he's starting in Yale also here, Connecticut. So he's already writing some music, very important music. At the moment he's doing the sound for a film based for children, based on Oliver Twist cartoons, So it is, he's very, very talented, and I'm sure that he's going to be a great composer.
Okay, well, he's coming from the right family. You have 3 sons. 1 son from your first marriage.
Yes.
You were married the first time at 16 years old.
That's right.
At 17, you were a father. Why did you marry so young?
What can you? I mean, I was very young. I was very romantic. So you find a girl when you are in school, and you think that's it, and that it wasn't, But you think that that's going to be it.
At 16.
So that was, in any case, I always think everything for the best, So I have an early experience, and it was not a very good one, but okay, I have a boy from that marriage, and then now since 25 years I have a marvelous wife, which we are together, and we have another 2 boys. So it's wonderful, and I started my career perhaps earlier because of the circumstances. So I'm not sorry, I'm just very happy it happens that way.
And you have a wonderful family. You and your wife are very devoted to each other, but you really care. A few years ago during the Mexican earthquake, you canceled all performances. You went to Mexico to do what you could to help.
Yes, I was, unfortunately, I was directly involved because 4 members of my family, they died in the earthquake, and I was living so much with all these families that they were affected by the earthquake, and I realized that they needed help. So I started doing some concerts, and I have been able to help about 750 families out of those concerts. So I'm very, very, very happy that I can help into something that maybe is just like a drop of water in the ocean because there's so much need. But at least 750 families is a nice number.
Yeah, well, I must say there aren't a lot of people that would do what you did. You're still doing things to help the earthquake victims. You're doing a lot to help people by being here today, and I'm taking a lot of your time.
No, I'm very pleased, to try it. I mean, this is a nice party. This is a way of introducing new people to opera, introducing new families with the children to the world of opera. And it's a benefit for the Metropolitan Opera, for the young singers, which I know they need it very much. So I'm very happy here.
Wow. I just am in the process of reading your book. You have done so much already. I mean, and you're still such a young man. You wrote a book called My First 40 Years. So much is packed into that book, but I get the feeling you're really just starting. I mean, you still have so much to do and so many places to go and so many operas to sing.
So God help me. I hope, yes, I still have a lot of time in front of me. I hope so.
Well, I'm glad whatever time you spent with us.
Thank you very much.
I thank you for taking time from the party.
It's my pleasure, and I hope that all these young kids that we are seeing now dressed, in Victorian costumes and so on, will be the great public loving opera tomorrow.
Yes, well, that they are, as a matter of fact, they are here, but they're going to see different opera than I think you saw as a child, or even I saw as a child. Just opera singers used to be very fat.
Yes.
Remember? As a matter of fact, I looked at some pictures in your book. Used to be.
Oh yes, I have been up and down on weight, but I try to keep it as low as I can. It's difficult, believe me.
Difficult for all of us, as a matter of fact. But all opera singers are no longer fat. They're no longer believable. When did that
No,
change?
so much like before, no. But you see also for the painters, you see the Rubens ladies, and they they were very exuberant, and that was apparently very. It was the most sexy and the in thing, to be fat, today is not.
No, okay, well, we're all going to work at it, but I thank you very much
Thank
for
you
taking
very
the
much.
time
Thank you,
and
pleasure.
spending time with us. Well, we've been here with Placido Domingo. He's going to join the party, and we're going to speak to more people, so please stay right there.